Story of Aquatron-Sustainable Solid Waste Separator Innovator.
Yeah, and at that time, we also had to look for some sustainable way to manage our sewage. Basically, we saw that most people have septic tanks, and then we felt that that is not the right solution for us, because we didn't want to just fill the septic tank and then have somebody pick up the sludge and then dump it somewhere else. So in that context, we started to look for solutions, and we really searched far and wide. There were many things, like there were all these dry toilets and different high-tech things like vacuum toilets, and we really scoured the market and looked for all kinds of solutions. But we were not really happy, they were still not fulfilling our requirement. And finally, after a lot of searching, we landed up on this Aquatron. So basically, for us, the most appealing thing was that Aquatron can be used with normal water closets, and still the end result is very sustainable. We get hygienic aerobic compost out of Aquatron, as it separates the solid matter, and we can compost it separately in a chamber. And then we get the separated flushing water, which is immediately usable for gardening. So that's how we landed up on this technology. We found out about it, and then for a number of years we were using it at our own farmhouse. Everything was working perfectly fine. And then the government started the Swachh Bharat campaign. So at that time, we started to reflect a little.
You started? In which year you started this? In which year?
We installed the Aquatron unit in our own house in 2012, I think. So just about 10 years ago, we installed it here in Hyderabad at our house. And then in the context of the Swachh Bharat campaign, then we started to realize that something like this has more significance than just our personal usage. And especially at that time, I'll give the credit to my husband. He's the one who kind of realized that this is something that will be very beneficial to a wider audience. So then we started to talk to the Swedish owners of Aquatron, and we asked if we can take it up in India. And they were also open to it. And then slowly we started talking to people we already knew. It was not something that we just thought that, okay, let's make this into a huge business from the beginning or whatever. But then we had some people who knew us, and they had some projects going on. They were constructing something, and they had seen Aquatron at our place. So then we slowly got started. We started doing installations for others. And in the beginning, it was a couple of installations for known people, very easy. But then when we started to talk to the wider market, the main challenge that we faced was that people were always asking, where have you already installed this? Have you already installed this in a similar place like what we have? We have a similar project like what we are doing. So it was kind of challenging to get started, because in the beginning you really have a very limited number of different reference cases.
Highlight anything specialty of Aquatron, how it is different from definitely it's a new product, so how it is different from the traditional STPs that are currently used, and so where it can be used in farms, it can be used in industries or any other spaces also.
Yeah, so Aquatron is mainly different because it eliminates sludge from sewage treatment. All other conventional systems have to start the sewage treatment process from sludge. But instead of that, in our systems, we have only water, and then we have a chamber where we have a dry compost. Okay, so there is no smell. That's also a major difference, because the septic smell only comes if you are mixing the solid and liquid. So there are many clients who are actually having problems with their existing sewage treatment plants because of smell. But if they even retrofit Aquatron to such a plant, then the smell issue will be instantaneously eliminated. And Aquatron can be used in almost any type of project, like individual houses, schools, offices, IT buildings, hospitals, hotels, pretty much anything, because it's a very scalable thing. You just have to increase the number of units, and then you have to adjust the biochamber, like that composting chamber capacity, to have enough space for the particular number of users. So at the moment, the biggest installation we have is about 220 KLD.
That's great.
And then, yeah.
So, what are the challenges you face as a woman leader? Like you're working continuously from last so many years, and you have also mentioned that initially recommending to your known ones, relatives, and friends, it's easy and to convince them. But when you reached out to the new audience, how you face that challenges and how you rectify? Because business is it's you also need to do a business in a new innovative product as well. So how you face the challenges and how you rectify it?
Yeah, I think like in general, like not only pertinent to women, in general it is just about having the required expertise and developing the knowledge and experience to be convincing that is there for anybody. And then in specific to women, sometimes I face people who, I've gone to meetings and then I'm very much knowledgeable about the technical side now. So then when I go to the meeting, then they'll ask me, where is your technical team? Because I don't have any male person with me. So
they have a general mindset about the traditional product that is used, and they just want to, the awareness is so much required in that side. So this is the general reality of our society, but yes, soon it is changing a lot, and might be you have overcome that challenge, and it's now changing. The scenarios must be changing now.
Yeah, and I think that is the minority. Like once the discussion starts and then they notice that like actually I know about the things and I'm able to discuss all the technical things, then there is no problem.
So that's great. So do you want to share any of your current accomplishments so far or you want to highlight any big project of yours that you think that it was a challenge at initial step, but now it is successfully completed so far, and you want to highlight any of your project?
Well, there are many projects that we could highlight, but personally, I would say that one thing in the entire process of getting into this business is that now, like instead of kind of like the people that we know and like small projects, now we have come to a very professional level. We are dealing with corporates and we are able to give them all the technical things and the drawings and everything at a very, very good and professional standard.
So that is fantastic. Do you want to share how many projects you have completed so far in your journey, and any more thing related to your accomplishments?
Yeah, since 2018 we have completed about 45 projects. Of course, they have more than 45 pieces of Aquatrons. Some of them have up to 12 Aquatron units. Like I mentioned about the 220 KLD project, which is an IT tower in Hyderabad called Sandhya Elite. And then we have some like villa layouts also in Hyderabad. Those are one of them is called Triton Environ. It has also 11 Aquatrons. Another project from the same builder is coming up with 17 units. And then we are also working with some corporates, as I said, and we have a very nice installation in Gurgaon in Delhi for WeWork. So they had a plant for 45 a 50 KLD plant in one of their office buildings. But due to the pandemic and all, there was very less usage in the building. But still, their conventional existing plant had to be running all the time, and the operator had to be there, and they were looking for ways to reduce the operating cost. So in that particular project, we have achieved an excellent return on investment for the client, because we were able to first remove the solids from the process, and because of that, we were able to decommission their sludge pumps and also reduce the aerator usage by 50%, and we were able to automate the entire STP process. So now they don't need any operators. Earlier they used to have 2 operators. So now they are saving 100% on the operating cost and about 50 to 75% on the electricity. So in total,
75%
yeah,
of
50 to 75% on the electricity
consumption. So that's fantastic. So it is used in saving the water at one side, making the composters. Thirdly, it is also saving the energy. So that is what much required in the today's time. So definitely we wish you all the best, and it reach out to the more masses, and more people should early adapt the solution. So it is much required. So want to understand, as you already said about the current products that are used in the industry, what is your point about the green building industry in India? As you are already located in Hyderabad, there is a more touch due to the Indian Green Building Council. Is there a lot of consultants are working from Hyderabad? Much more people are coming up. So what's your point of view regarding the growing sustainable industry in India regarding the green buildings? And what you think people need to be prepared about it? As buzz is already going on, certification is already going on, but what's your point of that?
Yeah. So whatever I have seen is that the green building industry seems to be very dynamic. They have a lot of things going on. Like we are also involved in some of the green building councils events, exhibitions, and they have some training events every year. So we are invited usually to be a speaker part of those events. And I mean, whatever I see, I'm really impressed. It's a dynamic scene at the moment, and a lot of people are getting involved. And I think there is a genuine passion for making things green, and a lot of people from different backgrounds also, like even elder people I've seen, they are attending these training sessions. Of course, a lot of young people are there, and I think it will.
Initiatives are also now very much appreciated, as government is also now taking a step in making the energy efficient buildings. So do you think yes, now people will early adapt this technology in making more sustainable buildings?
You mean like take up our technology? Or in general?
New technology, your technology, and the new technology. People are more adaptive about it, right?
Yeah, I do believe. Right.
So at the end, only last question. What's your opinion on women in sustainability? Like even we are also working with a lot of enterprises. We have seen the women co-founders with them, right? So any point that what's drives the women in sustainability, and do you encourage more and more women also to join the sustainable revolution?
Yeah.
These are all innovators, right?
Yes, yeah. I feel India is full of wonderful women, and very dynamic and strong women who are very capable, and who can really come into the sustainability industry as startup founders or whatever, bringing in technologies like what we have done. And I mean, from my side, I can only say that whoever has this kind of a passion, like they should come into it. And I'm sure there is a lot of scope for women entrepreneurs. and I see that it's also a good environment for women to bring forth their contribution.
Thank you, Raita, for sharing all your experience and your point of view related to sustainable buildings. At the end, only do you want to highlight any of your products? Like what are the specialty of your product, or any product you recommend or anything related to your product you want to highlight?
Yeah. So I mean, our special product is the Aquatron solid liquid separator. And for the industry, the main important thing, like the STP industry, is that the quality of inlet water into an STP is going to be at least 50% improved if you use Aquatron compared to the regular STP with sludge, and also absolutely no smell. And no electricity required to operate solid liquid separation. It's a natural process based only on centrifugal force and gravity. So it's very natural, no moving parts, nothing that breaks down. So very low maintenance and achieves a lot of benefits for the end user.
Right. So that's fantastic. Thank you, Raita ji, for coming with us on this session. And our team will definitely highlight about the sector on our networks, and we will definitely highlight the specialty of your product. It's really tremendous, and we wish you all the best to reach out to the masses. And our team is there, available for all the support. Once you become a partner, you will always become a partner of Econaur, and Econaur team is your team now, and we will always for all the support. So I'm just sorry.